Okay, I want to draw a kitchen from this floor plan. I'm going to start in a 1 point because that's a little bit easier to understand. So you can see here about how it's supposed to end up. This actually has a little bit easier of a floor plan than the bathroom. So this back wall, I'm going to draw first. It says here this is 16 wide by 12 deep by 8 high. There's an X across the middle. Tells me where the center of the room is. So this is going to be 6 feet in, right? If this is 12. From here to here. And this must be 16 across here. My refrigerator lies right on that middle line. My cabinet, this center. All right, so my back wall is going to be 16 by 8. So I'm going to go ahead and make a line at the top third of my page. That's going to represent 8 feet in the middle of the kitchen along the back wall. I'm going to measure with my pencil from the top of that line to the bottom of the line and pinch my pencil. I'm going to put 8 feet on the right side and 8 feet on the left side. So my ceiling and my floor are going to be horizontal. My back wall is going to move vertically and horizontally. I've got 2 squares drawn on my page that represent 8 by 8 squares. If I divide this wall in half, top to bottom, I get 4 feet. So this is going to be 8 feet high. This is my floor. This is 4. Between 4 and 8 is 6. Between 4 and 0 is 2. And I can put little marks in between each of those. So I get 1, 3, 5, and 7. My 5 foot is my horizon line. So I'm going to take that all the way out to the right and left side of my page. Notice I corrected my horizon line because this one was sort of wandering. I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to put my vanishing point right in the middle. I need to figure out 12 feet out in the room. So I'm going to go from vanishing point to the corner and on off the page in every corner. So I start to see my ceiling here and my floor here. My right wall, left wall, back wall. I'm going to take 8, I'm going to add 8, I'm going to add 4 more inches to this ruler. So take your pencil at the 8 and pinch it at the 4, put your thumbnail at the 4, and then slide that up and make a mark there. So you're adding 4 onto that and you're getting 12. And let's take that 12 feet there and swing it down. Puts me right about here for 12 feet. If I draw that line horizontally straight across the page, looking at the bottom of the page to keep it nice and straight, I know 12 feet is over here, right? And this goes off my paper, so if you don't want to write on your desk, you just imagine where that corner is. I'm going to draw a line from this corner to the 12. And I'm going to draw a line from this corner to where I think that one's going to hit there. That gives me a center line, horizontal on this X, 6. Vanishing point through the middle of the X gives me half the room. Now this room we know is 16, right? So this is going to be 8, 16. I can go halfway here for 4s, 2s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I've got 6 and 12. I'm going to split that in half. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so this is going to be 3 feet. Yeah. 3, 6, 9, 12. I'm going to start with 3-foot cabinets, right? The base cabinet here, it says, is 24 deep by 36 high. The upper cabinet is 12-inch deep, and it's 1.5 feet above the base cabinet. So if I come here along my ruler in the room, and I say it's going to be 36 inches high, I'm going to come up to my 3 mark and start to make a horizontal into the room. That's my base cabinet. The other said it's 18 inches above, so that's 4.5 feet right here. And then that's going to go all the way up to the ceiling, so that's going to go from 4.5 to 8, and this is going to go from 3 down to the floor. So now I'm drawing in the shadow of the cabinet on the wall. It comes out this direction to the refrigerator. The refrigerator sits right in the middle here. How big is the fridge? It's like 2.5 or 3 feet wide, right? So I'm going to come 1.5 feet out this way to the left of my center line. I'm going to come 1.5 feet to the right of the center line. And now I have just the size of a door. It's a pretty big refrigerator, the size of a door, right? How high is it? About 6 feet? I'll make a refrigerator 3 by 6 feet. So here I'm drawing on the wall the shadow of the refrigerator. The cabinet then is going to come over to the side of that, right? And up and over it. There's going to be a cabinet hang over to here, it looks like. And then there's a window. See how the cabinet comes to here, and then there's a window here and a built-in shelf below that. 24 inches high, it says. Great, 24 inches is 2 feet. So I'm going to bring 2 feet across for a built-in shelf. I think I'm going to make my window go from 3 feet up to 6 feet, so it'll line up with that window. Put a little 3-foot window in there. And I'm going to come in, I don't know, a foot on either side. So this is my window. I can draw the depth of the window already if I want to get. I'm going to see above and below the horizon. I can switch to my pen for that because I know where that window is going to be, and that's not going to change. I'm not going to see this inside of the window because my station point is over on this side. Now the fridge is going to come out into the room same depth as the cabinet. So the cabinet, it says, is 24 inches deep. So I need to come out here 2 feet. This line right here is 3. Right? So I'm going to cheat it back just a little bit behind that line. I'm going to say my cabinet's going to come out this far. Then I'm going to draw a line from here to the corner of the fridge till it meets that, and that's going to tell me how far out the fridge is going to come. I can draw a line to this corner of the fridge and come out this way, and my fridge is actually going to look like this. My fridge is getting bigger as I come out into the room, and it's overlapping these cabinets a little bit. So here's the front of my fridge right here. That other line that I drew, this smaller thing, is the back of the fridge where it hits the wall. Now this cabinet here is going to come out into the room 2 feet as well. So it's going to come out here to the edge of the fridge, And these should line up as they go off this way. So my cabinets are going to be higher than the ceiling and come out into the room like this. Right? I'm not drawing my fridge all the way down to the floor in pen because I know there's going to be an island sitting in front of that. This shelf that sits 2 feet high, if I want to start bringing that out into the room, I bring from vanishing point out this way. It's going to come out this 2 feet. So it's going to come out to here. I'm going to see a little bit of it right there. So I know this is the corner of my room. And this is the built-in shelf in that corner. I want to bring this cabinet out along this wall, so I'm going to draw a line from here to my 3 and project that counter where it connects to the wall. Then I'm going to come in here 2 feet and find out where that cabinet hits the floor. Where this cabinet hits the floor is here, and where this cabinet hits the floor is here, so right here there's going to be a line going up. So you're starting to see here the corner of the floor where the cabinets hit, and this is the corner of the wall where the cabinets sit in the back. This line I'm going to go up, I don't know how far, so I got to come here to the 2, up here till it meets that, then across here horizontally. That tells me how wide this cabinet's going to be right here. Now I'm coming from this point away from vanishing point, which is going to be the top. So now you're starting to see the top of this counter running this way, and this is going to run out the floor like that. The upper cabinet, I'm coming here to the corner, drawing from vanishing point out. It's almost horizontal because it's four and a half, right? 5 feet would be flat. This is going up in here. Let's see, this end of the cabinet is going to come out this way. I got to figure out. This said this upper cabinet's 12 inches deep. So this upper cabinet's going to come here to the 12. And that's going to be the bottom corner is going to come from there. I'm not going to see underneath these cabinets because they're below my eye level. So this line right here becomes the bottom of the cabinet. This point right here is important. This is the bottom of the cabinet. This is the front of the cabinet. And this is the line where the cabinet goes up. Above my eye level, I think I'm just going to see that go straight up to the ceiling. Actually, yeah, this part's going to be flat to my eye, so this is going to go straight up and across. But here, this line that I've drawn over here, I'm not going to use because from this corner away from vanishing point, is where the front of my cabinet is going to be. So here I need to come out this way with cabinets coming this direction. For the cabinets coming in this direction, I want to make them seem like they're coming wider as they come out. So I'm going to make a line down here. Then I'm going to make sure the next line is wider than that. So I want to make it like a little more. And the next one I want to make a little more. This I can see where it ends. How far out in the room is that? Looks like it's halfway between the 6. This is 6, and this is 12, so it's about on the 9. So I come out to this 9, and I say my cabinets are going to end there. And this isn't going to be used. It looks like this is the end of my cabinet here. And this is going to come out here a foot, which is half of this, because this we said was 2 feet. So I come up here to this end. This cabinet end is going to be right here. And go flat across the end like that, and then drop down like so. So these buttons need to be eliminated. I'm just not going to do anything till I get into color, right? Those are mistakes that I'm going to justify when it comes time to color this. Okay, so here's my countertop. Cabinets down below. Probably shouldn't be drawing in there again because I've got put a little kick plate under there. I shouldn't be drawing too much detail in here again because I've got an island. You ready to sort out the island? The island sits a little bit forward of the middle. Why? There has to be 3 feet usually between here for people to pass through. Okay, so between counters and islands, you want to have enough room that people can walk. So we're going to say this is 3 feet and this is 3 feet. This is 12, and we've come out 2 already. Then this would be 5, and that would make sense because this is 6, right? So this is 6 feet. I'm going to say this is 5 feet at the end of that counter. This is going to be about, this is not going to be more than 3 feet across because you got to be able to reach across to clean it. So does that come to about 8? We said this was 9 at this X. So yeah, it looks like that's 5 and this is 8. The width of it, it's wider than the fridge. So maybe it's like 4 feet wide. 2, 3, 4, 5. So this should be up 5 feet. 5 and 4 is 9. That would put this at 9. 10, 11, 12. 13, 14. Certainly there's plenty of room in there. So that's probably not quite, it's probably more over here than there is here actually. I'm going to say there's 2 feet here. There's 3 feet here. I'm going to make this 4 feet. So I'm going to put 3 feet here and 3 feet here. So this is 2. I got to come out almost to the 5 for the back of the counter. So I'm going to jump back behind this 6 a little bit to say that's going to be the back footprint. The front footprint's going to be short of 9. It's got to be about 8, right? Coming out from the fridge, I want to come about a foot this way. and about a foot this way, because this is 3. Actually, this I made, what did I do, 3 feet? So I only got to come 6 inches on either side of that. And away from vanishing point into the room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 right there. Great. 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I'm going to come to 10. I want to come to the other end of the fridge at least with that. So here's the footprint for my counter. For my island. The island needs to come up in the room 3 feet. How do I know where 3 feet is? If I walk this line over to this counter, and I come up this counter to the top of the counter, I know this counter is 3 foot high, so at this point in the room, this is 3 feet, right here. So I walk over like a little ant, I walk across the floor, I walk up the side of the counter, the top of the counter, and I walk back out in the room, across a tightrope I'm building out here, to tell me where the front of that cabinet should be. And this is 3 feet high at that point in the room. The rest is just going from this corner to the vanishing point and this corner to the vanishing point to establish the top. Then I've got to walk this up and over to figure out where that back one's going to be. So I'm going to walk from this back corner over to the counter, up to the top of the counter, back out into the room, and there's the back of my unit. Now I know where to stop this built-in shelf. I'll put a shelf halfway across. Fridge handles should be about the height of the counter, 3 feet. Probably should have X'd across this before I did those buttons, right, to figure out where the middle is. Just pushed them back a little bit from the actual center to make sure I was getting a vanishing point. All right, so a door, I'm gonna bring my door out a little bit so I have room for a molding. I want to be 7 feet here, so I'm coming over here and I'm finding my 7, walking across the back wall, and then away from vanishing point to get 7 feet for the door. This came out to 3, I want here to 6, right? Because the door's about 3 feet wide. So that's where my door is going to sit. I'm drawing in the front of the molding. Then I'm going to go flat there and flat there, so I can draw the inside of the molding. Draw this end of the molding, the underside, and this is going to go flat across there. The handle is going to sit at 3. Half of 7 is 3.5. So if I come half of this top to bottom, it's right about there. So I'm going to put my doorknob just below that. I also could take this 3-foot line here, walk it over to this wall, and then away from vanishing point, and say it's going to sit right there. There's another cabinet here on the side. Comes up 3 feet and it lines up with the back of this cabinet. So that should be about here. Looks like I messed up on my door. I'm just going to come out here. I'm going to come out 2 feet. So 1, 2. Away from vanishing point on that 2 on the floor here. Tells me where the end of the cabinet is. 3 foot high. I want to make it wherever 3 feet is in that part of the room. I want to bring it up to this height actually. And then away from this vanishing point. So this counter here would cover up the bottom part of my door. Would come out into the room like this. Whoops, I just corrected it. I'm going to color up to this one when it comes time and not to that one because I want to get graded on this one. There's a window over here. You could make that window the same height as the door, or you could make that window the same height as this window. I'm going to bring this window over, away from vanishing point, and make it the same height as that window there. I also want to make this the same height. There's a sink in here underneath the window. This should be drawn horizontally and towards vanishing point. Look, I can use that other line for my sink and no one will ever know I did it. I'm going vertically, horizontally, vertically to understand how that faucet's going to go. Then I'm going to draw a roundness into it. Like that. Give myself a nice sink setup. Okay. When it comes time to color this, I'm just going to color right over top of that door as if that didn't exist. If I wanted to, I'd probably take this right here and make that the end of something that happens there. Maybe I divide this right in the middle of the sink. So there's a cabinet there. Is this wider than that one? I hope so. Yeah, a little bit, so I'm okay. Give myself a cabinet overhang here. Kick plate on the bottom. And that sets me up for a 1 point. When I put the stove in over here, I notice that the stove goes, there's kind of a square here, so this seems like a 2 by 2 foot square. It's kind of lined up central with the end of that. So I might take this over here and say this is where the stove is going to sit. So on this side and that side, I'm going to put horizontal lines going across this way, right? And then down. I want to put an oven in here. I can have my oven set like that, right? When I put the burners on top of the stove, I'm going to make sure, I'm going to measure for the center. I'm going to get a horizontal line. I'm going to measure from here towards vanishing point. And then in each one of those quadrants, I'm going to put a horizontal ellipse. Because it doesn't matter if you're in 1 point or 2 point, a pan or a pot sits according to vertical and horizontal lines up here, right? So I want those burners to be set up properly.